Every warrior walks a different path. Samurai, the path of discipline. Ronin, the path of independence. Ninja, the path of strategy. Zen monk, the path of wisdom. Shogun, the path of power. But today, we explore the path of the loyalty to yourself first. Look at your life. You wake up at the precise time demanded by an organization you do not respect, step into an ironed uniform of conformity, and spend your peak human hours executing tasks that serve someone else's grand ambition. You sit inside your cramped cubicle, staring at spreadsheets until your eyes burn with silent resentment. Yet when your supervisor enters the room, you paste on a submissive smile and nod along to demands that erode your soul. You are the corporate ghost. You are a man who has surrendered his internal sovereignty, trading the untamed fire of his own potential for the cheap, predictable security of a monthly paycheck. You tell yourself that this is simply what adults do. You convince yourself that by sacrificing your authentic identity to corporate protocol today, you are earning a comfortable, dignified future decades down the line. It is a pathetic, cowardly lie born of deep spiritual rot. You are actively betraying your own mind to appease a system that considers you completely replaceable, squandering your mortal vitality to build another man's castle. The paradox is absolute. In your desperate bid to secure external safety by being loyal to everyone except yourself, you guarantee your internal world becomes a hollow wasteland of quiet desperation. There is a hidden, terrible architecture to this self-treason. Every single time you swallow your true principles to avoid professional friction, you sign an invisible death warrant for your own character. And the terrifying secret you refuse to face is that when the company no longer requires your ghost, you will be cast aside with zero remorse, left standing alone with a life you never actually owned, a revelation that will cut you to the bone when it is far too late to rebuild. The ancient world had absolutely no room for those who betrayed their own inner compass. In the bleeding, mud-soaked battlefields of feudal Japan, a warrior who leaned on external validation or placed his identity in the hands of temporary masters was merely waiting to be slaughtered. The samurai caste understood that true strength was not born from unthinking obedience to external institutions, but from an absolute, unyielding loyalty to one's own internal code. Your true internal enemy is not your demanding corporate boss, a toxic work environment, or an unforgiving economic landscape. Your true enemy is the internal coward that craves the comfortable chains of conformity over the terrifying freedom of absolute self-mastery. You have traded the deep sovereign crimson of internal honor for the cheap plastic safety of corporate approval. To survive in an era where lords fell and clans disintegrated overnight, the true master of the blade did not seek security in the crowd. He anchored his entire existence in an unshakable allegiance to his own spirit. The modern corporate ghost lives in a state of perpetual psychological decay because he places his identity in external hands, while the historical warrior understood that self-loyalty is the supreme law of survival. Let us look back to an era of absolute upheaval. In the early 17th century, Japan was transitioning from bloody civil war into rigid political order, forcing thousands of masterless samurai to compromise their code or perish. Amidst this shifting landscape stood Miyamoto Musashi. Documented historical fact records him as an undefeated duelist of 61 combats, a master painter, and a philosopher who walked the earth completely independent of any lord, clan, or political institution. Musashi was repeatedly offered lucrative court positions, vast lands, and high honors by powerful warlords who sought to buy his blade and harness his reputation. He refused them all. He recognized that accepting a comfortable position within a feudal hierarchy meant bending his unyielding standard to suit the fragile egos of political masters. He chose to walk the desolate mountain passes alone, wearing simple clothes and carrying wooden practice swords carved from river driftwood, enduring freezing winters and bitter hunger to preserve his absolute spiritual independence. It is said in popular Japanese legend that when Musashi retreated into the dark cavern of Regondo to write his final masterpiece, he lit a single incense stick and meditated for weeks without food, completely detached from the physical world. While this unverified tradition captures his mythic aura, his documented teachings in the Dokkodo reveal a hard historical truth. He lived by 21 severe principles of absolute independence, commanding himself never to seek pleasure for its own sake, never to depend on a partial feeling, and never to regret what had been done. Consider the visceral reality of Musashi's solitude inside the damp stone walls of Regondo Cave. The air was thick with the scent of wet moss, cold iron, and burning pine resin. He sat upon a bare rock, his body worn by decades of relentless combat, his skin weathered like ancient cedar wood, his dark eyes holding a calm, terrifying depth. He did not look for a soft bed to rest his aching joints. He did not seek the warm, wine-soaked banquets of the shogun's court. He sat in perfect, unyielding alignment, holding his writing brush with the exact same lethal precision he used to hold his katana. Musashi understood that the moment a man sells his daily purpose to an external master, he becomes a slave to circumstances he cannot control. He taught that a true warrior must walk his own path with absolute, uncompromising focus, training his mind so deeply that no external storm, no offer of comfort, and no threat of death can shake his internal center. He lived as a master of two swords, but more importantly, he lived as the absolute master of his own destiny, proving that the highest form of victory is not defeating an enemy on the battlefield, but remaining completely loyal to your own soul in a world that demands your submission. The mechanics of your failure are simple. You confuse submissive compliance with duty. You tell yourself that you are sacrificing your happiness for your family or your future, when in reality, you are simply too terrified of the friction that comes with standing on your own 2 feet. Every single time you compromise your core values to please a corporate machine or fit into a comfortable social box, you chip away another piece of your warrior mindset, training your brain to accept permanent servitude. You have become a psychological ghost, completely dependent on external titles and monthly paychecks to justify your existence. If you want to break this cycle of somatic and spiritual decay, you must adopt the severe, uncompromising posture of Musashi. You must realize that your primary duty in this life is not to build someone else's legacy, but to forge your own mind into an unshakable weapon. Betray the comfort. Stop. Look at your life right now. You're listening to these words, feeling a temporary surge of adrenaline, imagining the bold, independent path you will take tomorrow, while remaining completely passive in this exact second. But the truth is, the moment this video concludes, your corporate ghost will likely crawl straight back into its safe, comfortable routine. You will iron your clothes for tomorrow's commute. You will swallow your pride at the next staff meeting, and you will choose the quiet death of security over the violent birth of your true potential. Motivation is the drug of the weak. Musashi did not rely on a transient emotional high to walk alone through the snow. He moved because his code made self-loyalty a non-negotiable law of his existence. If you are going to continue living as a bloodless gear in a machine that does not care about your soul, turn this off right now. This way of the warrior is reserved exclusively for those willing to bear the heavy weight of absolute self-determination. Independence is a cold, brutal road. It requires you to stand completely exposed to the elements of life, accepting the risk of failure, the pain of isolation, and the sting of social rejection without a single complaint. No more hiding behind corporate titles. No more pretending that your cowardice is a form of practical wisdom. It is treason against your own nature, pure and simple. Let the modern world marvel at your sudden, terrifying refusal to conform. The era of your submissive decay is dead. Step onto the crimson path of the samurai. Cut the ties that bind you to false security and swear absolute allegiance to your own spirit. Own your path. Every warrior walks a different path. Samurai, the path of discipline. Ronin, the path of independence. Ninja, the path of strategy. Zen monk, the path of wisdom. Shogun, the path of power. Which one are you? Comment below.